Hey there, fourth grade. This is Mr. Campbell. Today we're going to be working on page 333. This is lesson 9.1, model addition of fractions. And at the end of today, we want you to be able to say, I can use tools like fraction strips or area models to add fractions together. Let's take a quick look over here at our solve and share problem of the day. It says, Kyle and Jillian are working on a sports banner. They painted 3/8 of the banner green and 4/8 purple. How much of the banner have they painted? All right, so we've got our problem here. So we say, well, we've got 3/8 that are green and we've got 4/8 that are purple, right? And so how can I solve a problem like this? Well, if it's one banner, all right, I'm going to go ahead and draw this. You're welcome to draw it with me. All right, so here's my banner. I'm just gonna pretend for just a minute. All right, and so if we cut this into eighths, because that's what our denominators are here. All right, so if I cut this into eighths, all right, it's gonna look something like this. Now it says 3/8 are going to be green, so I'm gonna put a G inside 3 of those 8 pieces. So 1, 2, and 3. Then it says 4/8 are purple. Well, 4 is the number that it is of the 8. So 4 of the 8 are purple. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And they're asking how much of the banner have they painted? So we want to say, what is 3/8 plus 4/8? And so what I'm really doing here is I'm counting, well, how many is all of these? All right. How many have that letter inside of them? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So that's my numerator. And how many do we need to paint the whole banner? Well, we need 8, right? So 7/8. Now, when you see this, you might look here and go, oh, I see what you did there, Mr. Campbell. Our 8th stayed the same because that's how many it takes to paint the whole banner. And then all we had to do was add our 2 numerators together. So 3 plus 4, and that was 7. And that's exactly it. When we're talking about our eighths, all right, every single one of these pieces is 1/8. All right, so they're all 1/8. And I'm going to go ahead and just move this out of the way for just a second because I want you to see. So we had 1, 2, 3. All right, these were our green. All right, and then we had 1, 2, 3, 4 that were purple. So even though these ones were different colors, they're all 1/8 going across. So how many 1/8 do I have? 1 1/8, 2 1/8, 3 1/8, 4 1/8, 5 1/8, 6 1/8, 7 1/8. And the way that we say that is just 7/8. So that's what we're working on today, is just adding together. And if the denominators are the same, then it's going to stay the same in our answer, and we can just add our numerators. Let's go ahead and turn to page 334 and look at what that actually looks like. So here we are on page 334. If you're not there yet, pause the video, get there so that way we can go over this. It says 10 canoeing teams are racing down a river. 5 teams have silver canoes, and 2 teams have brown canoes. What fraction of the canoes are silver or brown? All right. So when we're looking at something like this, I see that there are 10 teams all together. All right. And so when we write our first fraction, it says 5 teams are silver canoes. So there's 5 teams that are silver. Out of how many are there all together? Well, we said there's 10 canoeing teams. So this is going to be 5/10. All right. Then how many were brown? It says 2 teams have brown canoes. So there's 2 teams out of how many? 10. All right. That's where we get our fractions from. 5 silver out of 10, 2 brown out of 10. And now we need to add those together to find out how many there are all together. All right. So let's go ahead and slide down here to box B. And we're going to go ahead. We're going to show you 2 different ways that you can see these. I'll also show you my fraction strips at different times today. The real important thing is just you finding something that you feel comfortable, something that you make sense and go, oh, I see how we're getting these different numbers here. So whichever one you feel most comfortable, stick with that. So we've got here our 5/10 plus 2/10. We just said that. And so we can use 5 1/10 fraction strips to show 5/10 and 2 1/10 strips. All right. So here we've got our one whole. Now, what was that one whole? The one whole is all of the canoeing teams all together. All right. So that's why we have one whole is going to be all 10. All right. So it'd be 10 out of 10. Right here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's our 5/10. And we're going to add these 2 more tenths to it. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab mine just real quick to help us see this. All right. So here, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. All right. I've got my fraction strip. That's going to be my one whole. All right. And so we said we're starting off with those silver ones. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Flip those around so they're all facing the right way. All right. So here is my 5/10. All right. That's already there because it is our silver canoes. All right. But now we've got 2 more tenths coming to join that because we want to say we don't want just the silver. We want silver and brown. And that word and is going to tell us that we're adding them together. So how many are there all together now? Well, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. And that's exactly what they're showing us here on the page. So I'm going to zoom back in again. Sorry, hopefully you're not getting too sick. All right. There's the 5 we had. And we just showed we put those 2 with it because now we're saying all of those together. So 5 1/10 strips with 2 more 1/10 strips equals 7 of those 1/10 strips. All right. So what I said on the first page is also true. When we're adding, our denominators are the same. They're both 10. We can just add the numerators and keep the denominators the same. 5 plus 2 equals 7. 10 is the total. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at box C. So box C says find 5/10 plus 2/10. And we're going to mark 5 1/10 segments to show 5/10 and 2 1/10 segments to show 2/10. So we've got our number line here. And it's the same as over here. We had our one whole strip. Our number line actually goes from 0 to 1 because that's one whole. All right. And we cut our number line into 10 equal parts. So that way we can show, well, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 5/10 down here. And we're putting on 1, 2, 2 1/10. So 2/10. And then all we're saying after all of that is, well, how many did we shade? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And how many did we need to get all the way to the end? We needed 10. So that's where we still end up with our 7/10. All right, we wanted to know the silver and brown ones together. They're going to be 7/10 altogether. Let's take a look at our guided practice on page 335 and see what the next one's going to show us. All right, so here we are on page 335, and number 3, they're going to show us our tiles. Now, I'm going to go through both ways because I already told you the important thing is for you to find one way that makes the most sense to you. So we're going to show you using our tiles and then also using our open number line. But if it's starting to make sense to you just to use the numbers themselves, you can also start practicing doing that as well. So for number 3, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in, and then I'll have to zoom back out in a second. So bear with me. All right. For number 3, we've got 2/5 plus 1/5. So they've already put on here our 2 1/5 tiles, right? 2/5. And they're saying if we put one more 1/5 here, how many would we have? Well, we would have 1, 2, 3. And how many would we need to make the whole? We would need 5, right? So this would be 1, 2, 3 is our numerator, and it would take 5 to make the whole. So 3/5. All right. Now, let me show you on a number line real quick. I've already written it out to help us out just a little bit. All right. So here, what they're going to say is for us to get to one whole, it would take 5 of these little parts that we've got on our number line. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we're starting off with 2/5. So 1/5, 2/5. All right, that's where we are at to start. We want to add one more fifth in there. So one more of those would be right there. How many fifths did we have? Well, we had 1/5, 2/5, 3/5. Because we've covered 1, 2, 3 of these spaces, and it would still take us 5 to get all the way over to that number 1. The 5 is the denominator, how many it takes to get to the whole. The numerator is how many we have. All right, well, let's take a look at number 4. For number 4, it says 1/6 plus 1/6, right? So on our number line here, they've already showed us it's going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to get all the way over to 1 whole. So that's why our denominators are going to be 6. Well, how many do we have? Well, we have 1/6, 2/6. So what is 1/6 plus 1/6? It's going to be 2 out of 6. All right. Now with our fraction tiles, I'm going to slide this over for just a second. For our fraction tiles, we've got 1/6 here, and if I added another 1/6, then we've got 2/6 as our total, right? That's why this works. Our numerators is how many we have. We have 2. Our denominator tells us how many to get to the whole. All right, we're going to try just a couple together down here. We're going to start off with number 5. All right, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and do number 5 on your own. Try to challenge yourself. Either use these fraction tiles or just do the math using only the numbers, whichever one works better for you. All right, go ahead and do that now. Pause the video and work on that first problem. All right, hopefully you paused your video and you did 3/12 plus 4/12. If you haven't, do it right now, okay? They drew out the tiles for us, so I've got my 3/12 over here and my 4/12 over here, all right? So what I can do here is I can say, well, am I changing the denominator in any of these? No. The denominator, the number on bottom, is staying the same. It's 12, all right? So then I need to say, well, how many do I have altogether? Well, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 7, and I need 12 to make the whole. All right. Let's go ahead and jump down here to number 9. All right. Now, number 9, we've got our number line down here. And our problem here is going to be what 1/4 plus 2/4. And they're showing us here, hey, we can actually break that 2/4 into 2 1/4 to do our counting, right? So we've got our 1/4 here. Here's our 2/4. How many do we have altogether? Go ahead and write in your answer right now. If you haven't done that already, pause the video so you can finish solving through this problem. All right. But on a problem like this, I still need 4 to make my 1 whole, right? So the 4 is going to stay as my denominator. All right, that stays the same. Now I'm going to say, well, how many 1/4 did I have? I had 1, 2, 3 1/4. Or 3/4. All right. Now, I want you to go back to number 8 just real quick because this one is a little bit different than what we've been doing already. Okay. So when I take a look here, we've got 1/6 plus 2/6 plus 3/6. We're adding 3 fractions together this time. Did the denominator change at all in these? I hope you said no, because our denominator is staying the same each time. So our denominator will stay the same over here, which is going to be 6. All right. Now, my numerators are what I'm adding together. So I've got 1/6 plus 2/6. So 1/6, 2/6, 3/6. And then I'm going to add 3 more 6. So 4/6, 5/6, 6/6. Now, what do you notice about where we started at 0 and where we ended? We ended at the 1 whole. And the reason for that is because if I have 6 pieces and it takes me 6 pieces to get to 1 whole, then this is 1 whole. Whenever my numerator and denominator are the same, it's equal to 1 whole. Okay? So that one would be 1 whole. All right. Let's jump down. I'm going to have you pause one last time because I'm going to ask you to work on number 11 and then number 14. All right. So you can do whatever you want. If you need to grab a piece of paper to make a number line, if you want to draw a picture of your different ones, you can also do that. Or if you feel comfortable enough just to figure out your numerators and your denominator, then go ahead and do that. But I want you to solve these two problems and then press play when you're ready to go. All right, hopefully you paused your video. If not, do that right now because I'm going to show you the answer for these two problems. But I want you to try them out to see if you're on the right track. All right. For the first one, if I've got 5/8 plus 1/8, all right, I'm going to go ahead and draw my number line real fast. I don't want anything too fancy. Here's 0. Here's, oops, that's supposed to be 1. All right. And then if I cut those into eighths, there we go. I'm going to start off with 5/8. So I start at 0 and go 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8. And then one more, 1/8. Where did I end? What is this spot? Well, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 is going to be my numerator. That's how many. And how many do I need to make the whole? Well, I need 8. So 6/8. All right. Now down here for number 14, if I were to say, all right, here is my 1 whole, and my denominators are 4, so I'm going to break it into 4 parts. All right. I'm going to color in one of those 1/4, and I'm going to color in another of those 1/4. All right. How many have I done? Well, I've done 1, 2, and how many does it take to make the whole? 4. All right. That's how we can solve these different problems. Now, if you've got 3 numbers you're adding together, like on number 16 here, we do the same steps, but you just have 1 extra fraction to add in. All right, 4th grade, that's all the time that we've got for today. I hope you are starting to see how we can add fractions that have a common denominator, which means they are the same on the bottom, and you're able to start doing this with more and more accuracy and confidence. Thanks so much for working with me today. I will see you guys next time. Have a great day.